Hello, guys, and welcome back to another live stream with your girl, Lady Visionary. I hope you are doing well. If you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. It's helping me to grow my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support. I really do see it through your comments, through like your emails. It's been very, very encouraging and, motivating. So thank you guys so much for all the love that I'm getting. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And I do know that quite a few of you are watching the channel and not yet subscribed, but you keep coming back. But please, please just go ahead and support. It's free, I promise. I'm seeing some of you guys joining now. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm not normally on at this time, so I know many of you be thinking like, Lady Visionary, what's going on? You're not normally on at this time, but there's an opportunity that I really wanted to speak about. And I don't know why I haven't brought it on the channel here before, because I have thought about it before, but I just thought I'd come here and share it with you guys, because I do get quite a few people from the diaspora who send me emails and say, like, what sort of opportunities are available to do on the ground in Rwanda. And, I have been bringing that to the channel, but I had this, I had this topic and I thought, you know what, why not bring it to the channel to share for those of you who may be interested in the fashion industry, particularly in Rwanda. And I know quite a few of you are considering moving to Rwanda or investing in Rwanda. So that's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting times. Before I go into the discussion, or just to tell you guys about the opportunity, I just want to first of all, thank each and every person that has already donated to the Africa Rising Investment Funds. So those of you who do not know what the Africa Rising Investment Fund is all about, basically it's an initiative that I started this year. And basically it's starting in Rwanda. So that's where young people from the rural settings, they get to present their business ideas to us. And we basically fund them an amount of between 200 and 1,000 pounds. I've said this many times, and many of us already know that young people on the continent are the ones that get left behind. And there's so many young people who are unemployed on the continent. And I know that unemployment, although it's been tackled in Rwanda, it's still a problem. And again, it's normally the young people in the rural settings that get left behind. So the Africa Rising Investment Fund is basically targeting those young people who are talented, who have great ideas, that need support. So that's who we're targeting, those young people in the rural settings. I do want to do a shout out actually for all the people who have already supported the Africa Rising Investment Funds. And I'm just going to bring up the list, because last time I did promise that the next live I did, I would actually shout out everybody who has donated to the GoFundMe page. So I just want to say thank you very much. So I'm just going to go through the list from the bottom up. So we've got an anonymous donation. Whoever you are, thank you so much. Rashida, thank you so much. Azana, Mazur Largo, thank you so much for your donation. 2 other anonymous donation. Marvin donated to us. Is it Marvin Barrett? Thank you so much. Another anonymous donation. And we've got Catherine Oyil Ligayu. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but Catherine, thank you so much for your kind donation. Miza Bieni, thank you so much for your donation towards the Africa Rising Investment Funds. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. On the GoFundMe page right now, we're at £385. We're still obviously quite far away from our goal. So if you believe in the project and you want to support the project, please do go ahead and consider donating. I have left the details in the description bar. So, we want to be able to support as many young people in the rural settings as possible. So do go ahead and support me. And if you can't support financially, that's fine. All you can do is, another thing you can do, is like the stream. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Share out, any of my videos, any of your favorite videos here on my channel. I would really appreciate that. I have made it aware on my channel that I am offering consultancy for those people who are interested to relocate and invest in Rwanda. The consultancy is either via Zoom or telephone conversation. So you can send me an email. Again, the details are in the description bar. So do go ahead and check that out if you want to you have ideas and you've been researching, but you need some more guidance. Just send me an email and we can set up your consultation either via phone or via Zoom. So guys, I'm just going to get into it. So from the title, you can see, I'm talking about Rwanda's fashion industry. As I previously mentioned, so many of you send me emails about what are the potential business ideas that you can do in Africa or specifically in Rwanda. And I think that this is a great business opportunity for anybody out there who would like to explore the fashion industry. What I know at the moment is that the fashion industry in Rwanda is pretty much untapped. You do have some up and coming brands, but still there is room for improvements. There's room to partner and there's room to basically bring your own fashion brand. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a backstory with regards to Rwanda and everything that's going on, a bit of the politics really between like Rwanda and the US. So back in 2015, I believe, Rwanda sort of initiated a ban on the imports of secondhand clothing to Rwanda. Okay, so they initiated this ban because there was large quantities of cheap used clothing that were mostly coming from like the US and the UK, and this was sort of stifling like the garment industry in Rwanda. So they thought, well, they could sort of try to tackle this if they put a ban basically on the imports of secondhand or used clothing coming from like the US and the UK. I just want to let you know that this industry, in terms of the used clothing, that will like a lot of people were kind of tapping into this from like, I mean, it happens around the world, but we're specifically talking about like the Eastern African community. So this import actually from the US and the UK actually accounted for 13% of the global imports of used clothing. And this is said to be worth $274 million. So like there was a lot of money being made from the imports of used clothing from like the US and from the UK. But as I said, for Rwanda, they felt like it was really stifling their clothing industry. And so they put a ban on that. So previously, the US allowed many African nations to export many of their products, and this was duty free. But I think basically in 2018, Rwanda became more strict in terms of the ban. I think before they were a little bit lenient, but then 2018, they thought, right, the government was like, right, no, there's definitely a ban in place, and they introduced a tariff. So the tariff was basically $4 per kilo on imports of used clothing into Rwanda. So basically, the US government basically retaliated. They retaliated and introduced a 30% tariffs on all clothing coming from Rwanda to the US. So obviously this was a big hit because that tariff is quite high. It's very, very high. So while basically Rwanda was exporting about $1.5 million worth of clothing from Rwanda to the US market, this basically stopped overnight because, again, I said like the tariff is basically too high. I think that same tariff is still in place today, 30%. Rwanda thought, you know what, they're going to focus on their clothing industry or fashion industry. And the government, many of you will know that the government talks about like made in Rwanda products. This kind of gave room for a lot of local Rwandan business or a lot of locals to set up their business and start to compete in the market. Okay, so many people thought this was a good idea, but obviously those people who were selling like their secondhand clothing, they felt like this really impacted their lives, So for many people, that's what they were doing for so many years, is selling secondhand clothing. We all know, we've seen some of the documentaries that a lot of the times the US and the UK, they basically dump all their unwanted goods in Africa, whether that's appliances and some whole other junk. But for Rwanda, they were like, no, we don't want your used clothing. It's got to stop. So obviously for like America, who was, getting a big portion of money from this, they retaliated. They increased the tariff. And that really was a sting for Rwanda, really. So you had, obviously, the Chinese are always there. You had some Chinese companies in Rwanda that had built factories and things. And so the introduction of this 30% tariff also put the Chinese off because, the price was quite high. So what they started doing, a lot of the Chinese companies on the ground in Rwanda, they stopped sort of, exporting to the US or limited their exports to the US and basically redirected and started importing their products to the UK market. So there's a lot of challenge at the moment in terms of like what's available on the market. So basically what's happening now in Rwanda is that a lot of Rwandans are opting for like very kind of cheap, because the Chinese they offer a lot of cheap goods. So a lot of Rwandans are actually tapping into the Chinese market and buying sort of very, very cheap clothing. Like the government has tried to kind of tackle this whole clothing and fashion industry by removing import taxes on raw materials such as cotton. They're offering like grants and loans to like the textile or fashion industry just to try and boost the business opportunities and the economy, basically. But it's still struggling, as I say, because although they are made in Rwanda products, this tend to be more on like a smaller scale. And in terms of like the market where people are tending to opt for like the cheap Chinese clothing, basically this is still a problem. So so basically there are challenges on the ground in terms of the brands that are already on the ground in Rwanda. They're producing clothing on a very, very small scale. I don't think they're able to like meet like the demand. So basically what happens, they produce the clothing on a very small scale, but I think the prices are a little bit higher. So that's why people tend to go and buy the cheap Chinese brands. Some Rwandans are saying like the clothing are not like fashionable enough. So they need a little bit more of a choice, a little bit more diversity. And as I said, we've got the competition from the Chinese. So if you can bring something, if you can like partner with brands that are already on the ground, there's very little competition. So you can partner with them, or you can basically set up your own brand. So currently in Rwanda, you've got like House of Tayo, Moshions, I think, Sonia Mugabo, you've got Dokmia or Dokmi, Inzuki, Hotobaso, Uzi Collection. Hopefully I'm saying this right. So very, very few brands in Rwanda, like very few choices. It is up and coming, as I said, but still there is room for others who may be interested in the fashion industry to bring something that's unique to the table. If you're able to produce on a larger scale, then this is something that Rwanda really would benefit from. And there's definitely a market, especially if, as I said, your products are quite unique and you're able to sort of produce the items on a larger scale. Because the existing problem in Rwanda is that the existing brands are producing at a smaller scale. The one thing I noticed about Rwanda is that, you know, you've got like so many like tailors that are quite talented. So if you were thinking to kind of branch into this industry, you know, it won't be a problem. Like you have so many women, young people on the ground who you can create opportunities for, job opportunities, and you know the potential are quite huge. So you can it's possible to make huge profits from this business if you know what you're doing, basically. And I think a key point as well would be to be able to offer products that are affordable and that competes with the existing Chinese market in Rwanda. You know, the Chinese are everywhere. Wherever there's opportunities, they'll be there. They see it and they're there. So that would be your only challenge if you decide to kind of go into this particular industry, I think would be the Chinese. It's okay to bring your own ideas or, as I said, partner with those people or those brands who are already on the ground. So guys, I really just wanted to bring this opportunity to you because, as I said previously, so many of you have emailed me about different opportunities that are available on the continent. You know, many of you guys know that I'll be back in Rwanda very soon. So some of you have been asking me about Rwanda specifically. So I thought, right, let me come and share this with you for anybody who may be interested to tap into the fashion industry. Those of you who may be new to it and maybe exploring it, or, you know, those who are fashion designers who are already out there and already thinking about, you know, maybe the possibility of tapping into Rwanda and creating something quite unique. So definitely there's an opportunity. Obviously, you have to do your own research, whether that's like over the internet, or, you know, I think it's more productive to do your research also when you're on the ground, so you can actually network and with people who are already on the ground, find out what's going on, find out who your competitions are and who you can potentially partner with, find out more about the challenges on the ground and whether you would actually gain return from your investments in this particular industry. Something else I didn't talk about really is also there's limited amount of like children's clothing. I know that's something that my friends on the ground in Rwanda, they always say, like the challenge in terms of gaining sort of or getting access to clothing for children. So that's another area that can be looked into if you're looking to invest on the continent. And also think about it like you will be creating jobs on the ground and helping in the development of Rwanda. I can see you guys listening in. Thank you so much. This basically, I wasn't planning on being here very long. It was just basically to tell you about this great opportunity for anybody that's interested, really. As I said, I'm not here very long. Let's have a look at your comments. We've got Kijani in the building. Hey, Kijani. Cynthia, yes, excited to hear about this topic of fashion in Rwanda. Thanks for bringing it to the channel. Thank you. You're welcome. And we've got the homegirl healer in the building. Peace, Lady Vision. Peace, family. Peace to you. I did do a shout out to everyone who has already donated to the Africa Rising Investment Fund. And that's including yourself, homegirl healer. So I will say again, I'll shout you out. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate everything that you're doing, all your encouragement. I see it, your comments. Yeah, I really do appreciate like all the love. It keeps me going. It keeps me going. And yeah, I'll be in Rwanda very, very soon. I'm really, really excited. And yeah, I really can't wait. I will just say again, for anybody who is interested in investing or relocating to Rwanda, or Rwanda is the place I know about because I've been on the ground since 2014. So a lot of my consulting is around Rwanda. But if you just want to have a chat about, moving to a particular country or investing in any other African country, then, we can set up a consultation and just, talk you through that. So please do go ahead and email me. My email is on the screen or in the description bar. So yeah, thank you guys again so much. Homegirl Healer is saying thank you. We'll continue to donate and encourage everyone to do the same. Yeah, thank you so much. As I said, I really appreciate all the love. The Africa Rising Investment Fund, as you say, it's revolutionary. Everything that's happening right now is revolutionary. Can't get my words out now. And just the whole movement, I'm excited. Like, people really kind of coming together, and we're really seeing the Black community starting to support each other more. So I'm really, really happy about that. I'm really, really excited that there seems to be a shift in the whole mindset. So I'm quite happy, and I'm definitely feeling the love and support here on this channel. So yeah. Is opening a clothing boutique viable? I'm not a designer, but very interested in opening clothing stores. I would say so, most definitely. As I said, it's an area that's very much untapped. We need a little bit more choice, I think. I've been going to Rwanda since 2014. I have seen brands start to kind of pop up. So there are brands that are kind of up and coming, and it's growing. But at the same time, the people need more choice. And so that's what they're asking for. And so that's why they're even opting for things from China, because the choice on the ground is very kind of limited still. So that's why I say the market is very much untapped. And if you could bring a clothing boutique, trust me, it would do so well, because as well, like as I've mentioned before, like every weekend there is a wedding. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there is a wedding in Rwanda without fail. Like there are weddings. I'm just saying one. No, there are weddings, and people really like to look nice and are looking for various fashion items, how they can look fashionable, and how they can look great at weddings. So most definitely. And I would say, because I actually got married in Rwanda, and I had to kind of go around and see what was available in terms of clothing. I got married in 2016, yeah. And I can say from like going around, and even in Kigali, the city, still was limited in terms of choice. So I would say definitely a clothing boutique would do very, very well. There are many, but if you can bring something unique to the table, definitely you will stand out. So guys, that was it really. If you have any other questions, please do let me know. But that was it really. It was like a nice, short and sweet one for anybody who's like maybe interested in the fashion industry, or maybe it wasn't something that you thought about before. But I think it's important to kind of keep bringing ideas onto the channel in terms of business, because I do feel like sometimes people may not fully understand that when thinking about moving to Africa, or let's specifically talk about Rwanda, when you're thinking about moving to Rwanda, you need to have sustainable activities that bring about income. So, and you need to be flexible. Maybe you haven't thought about a particular idea, business idea. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing that to the channel so that, you know, we can kind of start to think outside the box. And you can think, oh, maybe this is something that I can do, or maybe I need to find out a bit more about this, or maybe I need to, so to just really get us thinking, because I've seen time and time again where so many people have moved to the continent, and because they haven't had like sustainable solutions on the continent, they've had to kind of run back to the UK or the US. I've had friends who've done that. I know of friends who've done that, you know, and many of the times when I've spoken to them, the reason why is because they didn't have the capital to sustain them while they were there. So they had to come back. And like, especially if you're thinking to head to the continent and you're not thinking to come back anytime soon, you really need to be strategic. You really need to have your plan in place, and you really need to think about the possibilities of like different income streams. You may go like with plan A, it doesn't work out, but what would be your plan B, plan C? Maybe you have plan D. So it's really helpful to start to really think about these different industries and ways that you can gain income when you're out there, instead of like getting into trouble very early on and then thinking, well, I've got to get out. I need to go back to the US to get some work and get some money, or you need to go back to the UK to work and get some money, because the reality is that how I thought it would be is not that way. So I'm really kind of giving you information and sort of getting you prepared and helping you to think outside the box when it comes to sustainable solutions for you on the continent. Right. So, Cynthia is saying, awesome. Thank you. Love the content. Oh, you're most welcome. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. As I said earlier on, I don't usually come on at this time. I put the kids to bed. Well, this is like the afternoon nap time. And then I thought, right, let me get on very, very quickly. Because a lot of the times when, you know, you may not see me or I'm not posting as often, that's because I am behind all of this. I am a mother of two and a wife. So, you know, I'm trying to, you know, hold down everything and trying to manage everything. I have two young boys. One is 2 and one is 1. They are coming with me, sorry, to Rwanda. Well, you know, we were there anyway. We were living there. So we're heading back together as a family. And I'm so excited. I can't wait. At the moment, we're just like planning and putting things together again. There's certain things that we need to take. This time we're actually taking our car, because what we found is that like in Rwanda, as much as your transport is very, very cheap, and you can get around very, very easily. You can use like the popular motor taxis. The bus is very cheap, and like, you know, taxis. Taxis a little bit more expensive, but you know, especially when you're doing business, and for us, we've got quite a few projects on the ground. You definitely need a car, and also with the kids, definitely need a car. So what we were doing previously, like we were doing like car rental, we were renting cars and stuff, but that was working out to be a bit expensive. We were also using public transport, but we've decided that it would be better to take a car from the UK to Rwanda. So at the moment we're basically sorting all of that out, all the paperwork and everything that needs to happen for that to be done, a little bit of work on our car. So yeah, I'm really excited, because this is the first time we will actually be taking a car from the UK to Africa. And one of the things though, which I'm not looking forward to, is the import taxes. So I know that's going to be a little bit high. So I'm not looking forward to that, because it's going to be a little bit expensive. That's one of the challenge with Rwanda, is that the imports of cars, the taxes are a little bit on the high side in comparison to maybe some of the other countries around, like maybe like Uganda is a little bit cheaper to import a car there. But nevertheless, because we need the car for our projects and because of the 2 kids and everything, we are going to import a car from the UK. Oh God, God help us. Yes, which side? Yeah, which side of the road do they drive on in Rwanda? So it's the same as in America. So it will be easy for you, but obviously for me, it's the opposite side. So I've actually driven in Rwanda once. That was when I was getting married and my family came over to Rwanda actually. And my husband was like, you're going to have to drive, because I felt like it was just so difficult to drive on the right side of the road. Yeah, because in the UK, we drive on the left side. But it was okay. It was okay. But still, I found it a little bit challenging because also in the cities, obviously, there tend to be a lot more like traffic. So I did find managing the traffic a little bit like challenging. And like the way they drive in Africa sometimes, but thankfully in Rwanda, like they've really improved the roads, improved like the systems on the roads, and people actually follow the rules. They've got lights, they've got zebra crossings, and they've got like soldiers and things and police in place to ensure that people kind of follow the rules. But yeah, when you're not used to like driving in Africa, it's another ball game. It's another ball game. So even now, I'm like, because my husband's like, you're gonna have to drive, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because he's not gonna always be with me on the projects. We may be working on different projects, different times. There's times when he may take the car or I may take the car. So yeah, like he was like, I'm not gonna be driving you around all the time because 99% of the time, my husband is the person who drives. I'm just sitting down chilling. But yeah, I do drive occasionally, but yeah, it's normally my husband that drives. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Can I bring my US scooter and drive it in Rwanda? Um, is a permit license needed? So the answer to that is yes, that should not be a problem. Obviously you would need, like for us when we're driving in Rwanda, whether that's like a rental car, yeah, whatever, then you need to make sure that you always have your driving license on you. Yeah, but I don't know if you'll need like what type of scooter that is and whether you will need to have a permit for that. But from my understanding, no, because actually there's a company that actually started renting scooters and you don't need to have like a license for that. But yeah, if you're driving a car or those type of motors, then you have to make sure that you have if you're from the US, your US driving license, or if you're from the UK, like me and my husband, we always make sure that when we're driving, we always have our license on us. So yeah, that's important because if you're stopped by police, yeah, and they may want to see your license. So a good way to just sort of avoid any problems is by just making sure that you have your license. Yeah. So guys, if you have any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I will be going now. The conversation, I'm sure that many of you have missed it, but today we're talking about just the fashion industry in Rwanda, that it's very much untapped. There is room for improvement. There's room to create something that is unique and diverse. People want more choice in Rwanda. And obviously those of us from the diaspora who are coming, we may also think about how can we what is on the market right now. So definitely these are opportunities that you can bring to the table, creating jobs for our people, for our brothers and sisters on the continent, which is what we're all about. When we're thinking about us coming to Africa, we're thinking about how we can live a better quality of life, how we can provide something sustainable for ourselves, how we can provide opportunities for our brothers and sisters on the ground, and how we can avoid situations that means that because we haven't been prepared enough, we have to run back to the UK or the US. Mo is saying, okay, thank you, my sister. Hopefully, yeah, as I said, hopefully that was useful. You can actually just maybe Google that, but as far as I'm aware, no, you don't need any license for like a little scooter. No, but you can bring it. That's no problem. I always see people bring like different things like bikes and things to Rwanda. It's never really a problem, really. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much. Hope you have enjoyed this live stream. If you have enjoyed it, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and just go ahead and share. And as I said, if you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe. And I have spoken about the Africa Rising Investment Funds. If you haven't already donated, please do consider donating. It's an amazing initiative. You can go ahead and read about it on the GoFundMe page, just so you can familiarize yourself with it. And if there are any sort of ideas that you have regarding the GoFundMe initiative, because I have had some of you email me and given me some brilliant ideas, ways I can improve the reach of this project. And I think even yesterday I got an email from a lady called Catherine, and she was talking about how this project can move from Rwanda to other parts of the continent. So it's definitely a start. Rwanda is a starting point. Obviously I have to kind of run the project and then evaluate it and see how I can expand it to different parts of the continent. But right now I just want to start with Rwanda, and specifically I want to work with those young people who are talented in the rural settings of Rwanda and supporting them with their talents and business ideas, and how that can bring or improve their livelihoods. So thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure being here. Take care and have a good day. Take care now. Bye.